Hi guys, it's Susie for Bello's Designs. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a versatile quick card. I know, another quick card. Honestly, this one is so versatile though that it's just a great card and it's easy. So I wanted to share this mainly because I've read so many times where there's new stampers out there and they say, oh, I don't have a lot of product, but I want to make a nice card, or I don't post the things that I make because I don't think they're good enough. This card is for you. Or perhaps you're a seasoned stamper and you have a file full of backgrounds maybe in your file cabinet. Yeah, I don't know anybody like that, but you need to use them up. This card's for you. Or if you have that family friend or a family member that just shows up at your door and says, I need a card. And when you ask them when, they say, well, now. This is perfect. So this is a great card to keep in your back pocket. Okay, so let's get started. Now, we're going to use the VersaFine Clair Nocturne. We're going to use the Elements Inks and Olive. This one is optional. I'm also going to use a silver glitter pen by Signo, a paintbrush, a Sharpie marker in black, stickles for a little extra sparkle. That too is optional. Bottle of water. And for our main stamp for this card, we're going to be using the Drooping Dandelion by Lavinia, LAB 754. Now, I'm also going to be using the Small Olivia, LAB 753. She's optional also. Now, for my background, I am going to be using the Lavinia DreamScape paper. Now, if you haven't seen this, oh my gosh, it is gorgeous to the point where you almost don't want to cut it up. But I did. And you can always buy more. So, if you don't have this one, Craft Consortium makes some really nice papers. I know that Del Bello's carries a lot of different ones, so check them out. But for today, we're going to be using the Lavinia. So, the Lavinia Dreamscapes paper. I've also used some white cardstock and some black cardstock. So let's get to the stamping. Now, for the paper, I've cut the Dreamscape paper to 3 3/4 by 5. I've cut the white cardstock, which is just a 65-pound piece of regular cardstock you can get anywhere. And this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And another just basic piece of black cardstock, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we're going to use those to mat the back of our card. All right. So, starting out with our lovely bent dandelion, I'm going to ink that up in the Nocturne. You want to ink it up really good. We're going to take that and we're going to stick it right down towards the bottom edge. Right. Now I'm going to take and ink just the head. And I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper here. I'm going to kind of block this off. I want the head to show, but I don't want the leaf to make a mess out of the rest of it. Okay, and if you miss a little bit, don't worry, you can fill that in. Actually, I'm going to wipe this down a minute. There we go. Coming in again. I'm going to go in just a little bit further. And tuck this one back and off the page. And then we'll go for one more. So we end up with an even or an odd number instead of an even number. I'm going to pop this one over here. All right. Clean that off really good, because now we're going to do the leaves. And this is a little trickier. Now, if you have the other stamp that also came out at the same time, the straight dandelion that has the 2 leaves, it makes this a lot easier. But for anybody that doesn't have a lot of product, I thought we'd do it with 1. So just inking this 1 leaf, and you want to be careful when you do it. We're going to come in and just sprinkle these around. Oops, sorry about that. Let's get rid of that. And you want to make sure that you get that stem cleaned off, because you don't want that showing up on your paper. And we'll pop another one right there. And I'm going to clean the stem off. And we'll put one up here, right next to that stem. Wipe it off. And we'll put that one right here on the corner. Okay. And there we go. Now I'm going to take, let's get rid of these, my Elements ink in the olive. I'm going to squish a little bit down on my mat there, along with some water. And I'm just going to paint in the leaves. Now, if you don't have a good green water-based ink, you can always use markers, whatever you prefer to paint with or color with. It's totally up to you. Now, Bello's also sells the Lavinia paper, and I believe it's not the Dreams, it's the Scenescapes. And they have papers that look very close to this. When you're picking your paper, this one's a little probably darker than I should have went. The lighter your paper, the better the design shows up. So keep that in mind when you're doing it. So I'm just going to finish filling these in. There we go. Okay, so this is the base of your card. From here, anything can work. But today, I am going to be using our little Olivia. So I'm going to ink her up in the nocturne. And we are going to stand her right on the edge of that stem. And we're just going to hold her down for a minute, make sure that ink gets soaked in good. She's a pretty solid stamp. And there we go. Now it's just a matter of finishing. So I'm going to take my silver pen just to give it a little twinkle here and there. And I'm just going to go over a bit of that stem. And maybe fill in just some little dots on the dandelions. And I'm not being careful about this. I'm just sticking them all over. So when the light catches it, you just get a little twinkle. And I'm sure you're going to be a lot more careful than I'm being right now. I just don't think you want to spend a lot of time watching me make dots. So I'm kind of hurrying through this. Now, if you prefer, you can use glitter, whatever. This is less messy for right now, but as you move it, now you can see all the sparkle on it. Oh, we forgot to do our little dandelion poof. We'll throw some on there too. All right. So now, grab my paper again. And I'm just going to grab another piece of paper. I'm going to go right up close to the edge. And I'm sure you've seen this done before. With our black Sharpie marker, I'm going to go right down the edge of the card. Just because I want to darken that edge. So you get just a thin black line on it. And you want to hold it down good. And actually, if you do this at the very beginning, if you happen to lose control and zip across your card, you don't lose your artwork. You just lose that piece of paper. But this card is so quick, I don't think it really matters. All right, last one. And there we go. These out of here. Now I'm going to take my 4 by 5 1/4, and we are going to mount our piece on. This paper is so stunning. I mean, look at that. How do you decide which way you want to go? Ugh, I love it. Absolutely love it. So now we're going to just glue this on. To our card. And here's a little trick if you use glue. I just take an extra large stamp block and put on it to push it down. That way you get a little better control over where your glue is going. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. And I'm just taking my glue. Oops, and I'm probably not in shot real well there. There we go. Just line it up. Grab my block, press down. And there you have it. Now you're going, where's the versatile part? Okay, I'm going to show you where the versatile part is. You can do it on white paper. This one, I just happened to add the little dandelion seed stamp. Great card for Grandma's birthday, or perhaps a sympathy card. Now this is similar to the one that I just did. This one I used a hot foil on. Here's another one. Great for a little boy, or perhaps you got a grandson going off to college. You could mask off his wings if the little fairy is too much for him. You've got plenty of room here for a little sentiment, or little Rory poking his finger on it. Now this one I did with the diamond stickles, and I added a little silver pen around him. And this one's the little mouse. I also found that the little caterpillar works really well. You can fit on there, Quinn, or perhaps you just want to add a butterfly into it instead of the little seed head. Whatever you can fit on here or in between here. I know that Cardio also makes some fabulous silhouette stamps. Just go crazy. And the great thing is since you're using the same background all the time, the dandelions, you can make those up in advance. And then when that person comes along and says, I need a card. Now, while they wait, you've already got part of it done. All you got to do is add one stamp and maybe a sentiment to it. And it's done. Minutes. Oh, and you know what? We didn't put our diamond stickles on. So we are just going to put a little bit on her wings. I think all fairies need sparkly wings, but that's just me. There we go. So, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, I hope you hit the like button. And if you want to see more of them, hit subscribe. But remember, as always, stay crafty. Thanks, guys. Bye.